Hello, everybody. Megan, can you hear me? Just type into the chat and let me know. All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we're still a few minutes waiting for people to come on. We got a boatload of people registered for this webinar. Just do me a favor. So I see you all, Casey, George, Ian, Josh, Kara, Matt, Megan, Melvin. Just go ahead, guys, and type into the chat. Just Megan says, well, obviously you don't need to put your name, but put your gym name and where you're located. Just kind of want to get an idea of where you guys are coming from and who of you are open and who are you not open. And it's been a pretty crazy situation in the last several months. And I've been looking at my calendar of when this whole thing started. And it's been I think this is 8 weeks. Someone put 50 days the other day, but it's been about 8 weeks. So it's a pretty crazy. What's up, Josh? Out in New Jersey, Connecticut, Vermont, Jersey City. Real good. Yeah, type in the chat if you're just coming on now. What's up, Chris? Chris, you've been on a bunch of these. I've been doing a lot of these lately, just a lot of these different webinar formats. It's kind of like the way I can get a lot of info out to a lot of people quickly. Also, my podcast has been pretty active lately, and so it's been a challenging time. Yet I've really seen a lot of positive things, a lot of great things coming from the fitness industry. And as you know, let me just kind of start by like letting some air out. And one of my friends posted, he's a consultant like me, and he posted something yesterday. And he said that brick and mortar is not going away. And I think I'm going to talk about it today on the webinar. Obviously, we're not even starting yet, but brick and mortar is not going away. Like, we're not going to be replaced by robots, and we're not going to be replaced by the Pelotons, and that stuff definitely are threats to us. But I am very optimistic for the gyms like ours, for the ones that follow me, the small group training, for many reasons. But I'm very optimistic of the future. We got some crappy times in the next few months, and I'm going to talk about that today. But it is really. I think the future is bright for us. I don't think that we're going to be replaced with online training. I think that um, you know those of us that are kind of in that 40 plus market, um, we are it's different. The online training side of things is challenging. And I'll tell you this: anyone that thinks online training, I'm just going to move everything online, probably got a good taste that it's not that easy. Right? I see my staff. I come in and I've been working at the gym, and one of our other team members comes in at the same time, so we're in separate rooms the whole time. But he's up there and he's coaching on Zoom harder than he's ever coached before, and it's like they're drained from doing all this online training. And so it's not easy. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to sit back and just make a bunch of money online and everything's going to be great. And I think, one, it's not nearly as rewarding as what you guys do in person, and it's not easy. It's not easy. If you're coming on, do me a favor, just type. Oh, Ben Shear, how you doing? I was in New Jersey. What's up, brother? Um, Honored to have you on. Thank you for coming. Do me a favor, type into the chat. I want to kind of get a view of where everyone's coming from. So I have New Hampshire, we have Massachusetts. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. A lot of Jersey. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Cali, Connecticut, Queens. So just type into the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Northern New Hampshire, Phoenix, Arizona, Jersey in the house, PT Fit Camp. Fitar, what's up, man? Fitar did an internship at my gym, and now he owns his own gym. Very good. Another Cali, Massachusetts, San Diego. What's up, Desiree? I used to be a trainer out in San Diego. I love it there. Pretty amazing spot. So we're good. We're coming on strong. A lot of people still coming on the webinar. I'm going to start in about a minute. I like to get these things started on time and get rolling. I know you guys have your Friday to get used to. Okay. All right, so let's get rolling here. Let me share my screen. Hold on one sec, guys. Yeah. And share. Okay. Let it go. Full screen. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so COVID-19. How to manage your cash and your team if members stay away even after your gym reopens. So that is the topic. I've done so many of these types of presentations, but I realized that cash is such an important thing, and it's such a if there's anything you learn over the next period of your life, know that your cash position and your cash cushion and how much money and cash you have as liquid assets is one of the most important things that you could ever have. There's a lot of stress in people that don't have cash right now, and there's a lot less stress in people that do. So it's a really important thing. There's so many things that impact your cash flow. It's not just your marketing. It's not just your ability to generate leads, despite all of what you see on social media that from the people that don't really run businesses. So let me first by saying I want to give you guys a gift. I appreciate you guys coming on. This is a picture of me and Thomas Plummer. I'm a speaker at the Perform Better Summits, and which we will be doing online this year. It's going to be super fun. So you'll get the chance to hear all the speakers online at Perform Better. But so Tom Plummer is one of my mentors. I wrote a book called The Ultimate Guide to Sales for Your Gym. I do believe that your sales process is going to need to improve right now. I think that you need to become a better salesperson now, because in pandemics, resistance goes up. So you need to make sure that your sales skills are at the highest level possible. And so my sales book will help. I'm giving it to you guys today for free. It's a digital copy. Meg has put the link in the chat for the book. So that is my gift to you today for coming on this webinar. So thank you guys very, very much for being here. So I'm going to teach you a complete strategy that will bring certainty, confidence, and cash in the midst of a pandemic, and the tactics to do it when your competitors won't even be considering you. None of your competitors are on a webinar like this today. Very few of your webinars would even, very few of your competitors would even come on a webinar like this and take action afterwards. So I'm quite confident that you guys are not only going to watch this webinar to the end, but you also take action on the things that you learn. Okay, so quick housekeeping things. Turn off your phones, get out pen and paper, get ready to take notes. I will be posting a replay of this tomorrow, so I definitely stay to the end, because there'll be a little bonus for you guys that stay to the end. But get a pen and paper out, take notes, be proactive studying, try to be distraction free during this period of time. Okay. I don't know how long I'm going to go for. I don't know how long the Q&A is going to take. Sometimes I can go off on tangents, but a lot of times my tangents can make you lots of money. So take notes, turn off your phone, be here, be present, be focused. Don't try and minimize this screen and go on Facebook and try and do work at the same time. It's not going to do anything for you. When I learn, and I'm on, different, learning platforms all the time, and I know that times where I have one open and I'm trying to look at my phone and do other stuff at the same time, it never works. Okay, be fully focused, be fully present, be fully here, get out, take notes, put this on full screen, and let's get after it. Okay, so here's the agenda. I'm going to give you my quick story, and I'm going to give a little different version of my story for those of you that there's some of you on here that I know, but there's some of on here that I know don't know me. So I'll give you my quick story. It's going to be a COVID-related story. I'm going to go over 5 unshakable cash drivers. To describe what Unshakeable is in a second, and then how you can apply this to your business, and I'll take some questions at the end. Okay, so on March, I can't even see the date, but sometime in March, I was in Orlando, Florida, March 4th. I was in Orlando, Florida with this group. This is my CEO Mastermind. And it's a little round table. It's my highest level group. It's very, very expensive to get in, but we're sitting around on March 4th. COVID-19 never came up in this meeting, or barely came up. It was not something that was really on our radar. We knew it was there. We knew it was there. It came up a few times, but it wasn't like something we were like, we got to prepare for this. We got to get ready to go. Okay, so I'm just giving you like a timeline. Okay, and then my next group, my March 6th and 7th, my whole mastermind came. We had Tom Plummer speak. So there's 50 gym owners in my CEO, in my regular mastermind, and we did it on March 6th and 7th. Okay, same thing. Not much talk about COVID-19. If I knew what I knew now, we would have been like all over trying to make sure that we were ready to go for this. I stayed in Florida. I was in Disney with my family. My kids were flying at this point in time. I didn't even realize what the hell was going on. All of a sudden, this shit hits the fan with COVID. Okay, and I'm like, we had this Disney vacation VIP status level. We literally left in the middle of our trip. We're like, we're getting the hell out of here. We rented a car and we drove from Florida to New Jersey. And on the car ride home, I'm on the phone for like 20 hours straight talking to clients, because all of a sudden we start getting phone calls from our clients saying, hey, I need to put my membership on hold. This is at my gym. I need to put my membership on hold because I'm scared of this COVID thing. And all of a sudden these calls start rolling in. I'm like, we got to do something about this. So I'm like on the phone the whole way home with the members of my team and gym, preparing and planning on what we're going to do. So I get home, we do the drive in like one day almost, and I get home and I make the decision to shut down my gym. So I think that was like March 14th. And I shut it down in the place of something called the Week of Wellness. That's kind of the sign that we're doing. And the Week of Wellness was, and this is how crazy this is, the Week of Wellness was my approach to saying, okay, COVID-19 has hit. I'm going to make sure that I'm closing the gym down. I want this thing to die down for a week, and then we'll come back when this thing dies down. And I'm like, what the, I mean, it's to think about that now is how ridiculous was that? But the Week of Wellness was kind of our first initiative to really deliver an experience for our members online and give them something that they could get when they're not in the gym and keep them paying, so I can keep paying this nice big payroll that you see in this picture here. Okay, so that was on March 14th where we shut down. Now, from March 14th to today, I have been as busy can be. Many of you that are on this call have been on my webinars before and know that I've been delivering this stuff almost every week for the last 8 weeks. I've done hundreds of hours of consulting in the last of coaching and consulting in the last day. I've done 27 Zoom consulting sessions like this, where I'm PowerPoint presentation mode like this. I've been leading my own team through my own business and gym through the members of COVID. And, I've been able to already get credited for saving businesses, which is, a really cool thing. This is one of my mastermind members, George McGuire, that would have had to shut his doors if it wasn't for the way that we've kind of constructed this plan to get ourselves to battle this. Same thing. I don't think I would have made it through COVID, COVID 29. That's my mistake. The pandemic as a gym owner without the guidance that I've been in my mastermind, has been providing. So I've been really, really busy. I've talked to countless people, gym owners from all around the country and the world, some of the top consultants, but know that this is kind of something that I've been very, very busy doing, not just running at my own gym, but also helping a ton of people through this. So I'm hoping today gives you that. I've written 6 books on the fitness industry. These are the titles of the 6. Obviously, you're going to get the sales book soon. I do speaking around the country. I mentioned I'm speaking for Perform Better this June. And these are just some really cool, smart people that I know that have said some nice things about me. So there's a little snapshot into who I am, if you guys didn't know already. Ooh, what's going on here? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, all right, let me just do this. All right, so here's what you're going to learn. We're going to learn how to protect and grow your most precious resource, your cash. I'm going to give you specific ideas to grow your cash now. We're going to work on how to market your gym right now without feeling like a jerk, because I know some people just don't want to even do that. How to build the right plan so your clients feel comfortable coming back. How to manage and train your staff to navigate running an offline and an online business at the same time, because that is going to happen, and you'll see why in a second. And how to keep your members engaged, even if they stay online. And when I say online, I am not I know there's been a ton of like these guys that says move everything online and go online and go online. My view of online is this. My view of online is, what did you need to do to keep your members? And what did you need to do to add some new revenue? I am not kind of going out there and teaching, move your business online, create a remote gym, and do all that stuff. That stuff we need to do temporarily. We are going to be back. We are going to be back. And do I think you should maintain some of the things you're doing online? For sure. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I am not a consultant that's pushing people to, take your Train Heroic or your Trainerize or whatever online thing and just, set yourself up in your basement and do that. I don't think that's necessary. And I think there's a lot of scare tactics going on that is telling brick and mortar gym owners to do something that probably they just don't want to do in the first place. So why is this important to you now? The gym owners that are proactive and take action now will be in a wonderful position in 2 months. The pandemic has put many of your competitors at an extreme disadvantage. I believe, you saw what's going on with 24-hour fitness. I wouldn't step foot in an Orange Theory right now. And if you're an Orange Theory gym owner, you're watching this, I'm sorry. But can you imagine being on a treadmill 2 inches away from another person and sweat flying back and forth? I can't imagine people are going to want to step. There's a gym by me that it's called, I'm not going to mention the name, but it's a gym. They have a 900 square foot facility, and they train 45 people at one time, and they're slammed in there like sardines. And every time I drive by, I cringe. They're done. They're done. That is not happening in the next, year, if ever. I mean, so a lot of the people that follow me are the personalized service. We're focused on small group, or if you do large group, we have the facilities to space it out. I think there's a lot of advantages coming and a lot of opportunity when this thing ends for the people that are in the right position. And again, like I said, the gurus are trying to sell you to believe all you need to do is sell your online programs. I think it's fine. And I hope some of you have built revenue with your online programs, but I think a lot of the hype around this is baloney. There's every consultant that, I've seen consultants that literally were asking me for jobs not that long ago. Now they're a guru, on social media telling you how to run your online program. It's such crap. And it's important to you now because you don't want to make any careless mistakes during this period. Okay, so this is for you. This is for you if you're a gym owner, a brick and mortar gym owner. This is not, that's it, brick and mortar. This is not how to move your company online. I repeat, this is not how to move your company online. If you're a brick and mortar gym owner and you want to get through COVID-19 on top, this is for you. If you're frustrated by the lack of a clear plan, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And sometimes we just have to be decisive and develop the plan. If you want to maximize your gym's cash position, if you've been navigating the situation alone and cannot trust what you're seeing on social media, I mean, it is like, you know, I don't know if there's another consultant that, I mean, I think there are a few, and actually some of them are my friends, but that's kind of navigating through this. That's hence why I'm a little tired, because I've been consulting gym owners all around the world with this thing, but I've also been running my own business at the same time. You're worried this pandemic could put you out of business. It's a real thing. There are some businesses that have gone out already, and you know it is a time that is a possibility. If you're sick and tired of your revenue continuing to drop and you want to do something about it, and you have high hopes for the future of brick and mortar, I repeat, I want work with people that have high hopes for the future in brick and mortar. I am not teaching you how to become an online personal trainer. Okay, I am teaching you out of high hopes for the future of your business. Are there things you're going to need to do to shift and pivot, as you know, as everyone's saying? But I want to work with people that have high hopes for the future of their brick and mortar, that may need to embrace doing some things differently, but I do believe that there will be a really good future for in-person services for brick and mortar. What this is not, okay, what this is not, I am not a consultant disguised as a gym owner and tell you what they would do. My favorite is, here's what I would do if I owned a gym. Well, how the heck can you do that? Come on. Not a program for how to move online, not a get money quick program, although I will teach you some things today to get money quick, but that is not the crux of the whole thing. And it's not a presentation built to scare you. I'm going to say some things that may scare you, okay? But everything I'm reporting is fact and truth, okay, from the inside eye of the storm. So I'm not building this out to scare you or anything like that. I'm just reporting on what is true and giving you some good resources of what you can do about it. So here's kind of the initial conflict that we all had. Okay, we were forced down. Mid-March, we were forced to shut our gyms down, and literally we need to turn our businesses to an online company overnight. Right? We had no ability to do what we were kind of meant to do in this whole brick and mortar gym thing, and we had to move everything online overnight. And there was a lot of things that needed to happen. More and more members either terminated memberships or went on hold. And a lot of revenue was dropping faster than ever because people are scared. Now, I will tell you this, you know, at my brick and mortar gym, I'm not coming here and saying, well, we did such a great job at this that my business went up and we made money doing this. I am not saying that to you. Okay. My brick and mortar gym in New Jersey is down. Okay, 100%. We are in an absolute hotbed. They're on the other side of these woods from my gym, which is where I'm recording this. There is a nursing home that one of my clients works at who has had 20 deaths 100 feet from my facility in COVID-19. So this has been hit hard. So are there members of mine, and we skew a little older, are there members of mine that are a little freaked out by this? Hell yeah. So they didn't want to come into the gym. Okay. And maybe a lot of the people didn't, you know, the Zoom thing didn't work. So I'm not coming here saying to you guys that, hey, I hit this thing so right that my revenue's no, that's not true. Okay. But this is happening across the board to anyone that owns a gym. Members that start getting impacted by the disease. You know, have you had members that have gotten it? Have you had family members that have gotten it? I tell you, you have a member that had a family member gotten it, they treat this thing a lot differently than maybe someone that just is, you know, flying around. Stress and decision fatigue are mounting. I mean, how many decisions have we had to make during this time? It's crazy. What do we do online, and what platform do we use, and what do we do when we come back, and how do we keep the gym clean and all that? There's a lot of decisions that we had to make. You may have had to do this stuff, furloughs and layoffs and terminations and learning about this PPP and all these new things. I mean, it's been a whirlwind of stuff to deal with. And this whole PPP thing is an absolute nightmare because the SBA's stance on loan forgiveness is we've yet to determine it. It's a bunch of baloney. But I will tell you, you do not want to rely on the government. Take their money, but you want to rely on them. Okay. And it was kind of like there's no end in sight. It seemed like this was like, man, I think now we're starting to feel the end. But for a while there was like, this thing is like going strong. And then finally, we got a little bit of luck, right? We jumped into phase one, and gyms were put into phase one. And this was some wishful thinking in the beginning, and then you realize that, it's state by state. But it was somewhat good news that the White House put gyms in phase one. So then we're like, okay, we have this semblance of a return. And now I'm like thinking, all right, we're going to get back and our clients are going to come back and we're going to come off hold and things are going to be good. Until I did a survey. And I sent this survey out to my members about reopening the gym. And I was a little bit disheartened of the results that I got. Here were my results. This is an actual graph. And from my members, and remember, I am in a hotbed, so you might not get the same results. Okay, I'm not saying everyone's results are like this, but this kind of gave me an oh shit moment. 30.9% said they would come back right away. Okay, that leaves the rest of the graph, okay, 60 whatever, 9% in 70% in limbo, right? That are pretty much said that they're not coming back right away. Okay, the 21 and the 14.8 definitely said they're not coming back right away, and the others had said no because I'm going down the shore for the summer, and no because I'm waiting to hear about what you're going to do and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of reasons that came about for this. So I mean, I saw this and I'm just like, I can't believe this. Like, I can't believe that. I mean, and we have a 12-year-old business. We have some of the best relationships possible with our members. And I am like, I thought they were all going to come back right away. And I'm just like, man, this is bigger than I thought. This is bigger than I thought. So I like kind of took this oh shit moment and I started to really think about, I had a lot of questions about this, a lot of questions about how we were going to kind of recover from this and how we were going to make a return. And I just kind of went into grind mode and I started asking, a lot of questions. Okay. And one of them was, how do you not drain your cash reserves when you need to pay staff to run online and offline? Right. So it did say that a lot of people were coming back, but not enough people were not coming back to stop online. Right. So now you're like, okay, I got all this stuff I've been doing online. I got to keep that going. And now I got to go back to online. How are you going to, pay your staff? For both of those things. So that was a question I had. Where are you going to get the money if cash is low to market the gym? And if people are so afraid to come to the gym, what the hell do you say in your marketing message? Right? What do you say to people that are so afraid to come, to a gym? How do you manage payroll when you don't have enough hours for your staff? Right? So some of your staff members you don't even have hours for, right? Because you might have had front desk people, and you might have had other people like a salesperson that what are they doing right now? Okay, but then there's this whole thing of like being afraid to let people go because of PPP loan forgiveness, and I had that question, which is ridiculous. What do you do when you're pressured by your clients to discount your online services because other businesses are slashing their prices? All the gyms in my area and all the like boutique stuff, they're like, well, we're going to drop our revenue by 25% because we're offering line, and then you have clients coming to you. And what do you do in that position? Can you take on top of the hit you already took? Can you take another 25%? So I had that question. What's the best way to recoup all the money you'll lose on the members that decide not to come back? Okay, because they're scared to open. What if they don't come back at all? Okay, and what's the best way to recoup it? So I started to think about, all right, I am not going to turn into an online business, but know that, hey, long term, I need to keep some kind of an option. How do you deal with even more members freezing after your state requires clients to wear masks, right? This mask thing is a conundrum. I am deathly afraid of this mask thing. I have clients that are like 65 years old. They have a tough time breathing, walking up the stairs, and now I'm going to put a mask on them and try and train them. So I had that question. And so I went on this, I had all these questions after I got that survey, and I went on this like 2-week bender. I told Vanessa, my wife, and my 3 kids, who I've been, doing my best to be a dad at the same time as well, which is not easy, but I'm doing my best, and I'm learning a lot from some of my friends that do it. But I went on this like 2-week bender, and I pulled out a bunch of resources, and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I'm like, all right, how am I going to get my business? And every time I think of my own gym, I also think of my 50 mastermind members. What do I need to do? What's the plan I need to create to get this thing on track and to navigate these challenges of all the things that I just mentioned? So I went into like massive research mode, and here was kind of like my intake process. So I consulted with industry experts, Tom Plummer and Rick Mayo, people I respect, industry people. I started to look at who's already open. Okay, I recently talked to a guy from Tennessee, Drew Massey, who's already open, and started to interview them about their practices for them being open and how they're doing it and what the rules were. I hired a researcher into the best ways to go up a gym and the best things that we can do to create a safe environment to reopen. I worked with marketing experts, Ryan Lee, Paul Goff, and Peggy McHale, to help with marketing messages for what should we say to people when they come back. I interviewed dozens of my most successful gym owners from the mastermind. I consulted with super high-level CEOs, attorneys, and Goldman Sachs business advisors. I spent hours with an infectious disease doctor from NYU. I talked to the CEO of the Service Master Cleaning Company. I consulted with my own team every day. I've compiled a huge, massive data from the members of my gym from different surveys. But most importantly, I dusted off how I navigated my business during the 2008 recession. Okay? Look at that face. That's a face of someone that's been through 2 recessions, and 3 actually, because I'll tell you what my third one was about. So I kind of dusted off and said, what did I do back in 2008 to get my business through at that time? So I took all of this stuff and all the things that I was doing, and I created a plan, and I built it from scratch. It's a complete COVID-19 strategic battle plan to help my gym and my clients thrive in this chaos, and I'm calling it Unshakeable. And, I had the thing I announced to my members through the week of wellness. That was our first kind of approach, where we're going to kind of give them this week online. And then our next presentation was something called Unstoppable, where we kind of went to our members and we're creating this online training plan for you to become unstoppable. And the third phase was Unshakeable. So I kind of just took the same name. And that's kind of what I've named the plan. Is we want to try and make ourselves and our business unshakable during this entire process. And this is kind of the components of the plan. So marketing and new messaging, the sales and a new pricing model. We restructured a restructured staffing model, cash flow projections, leadership and new team meeting structures, new growth opportunities to drive immediate cash, downside planning, new hiring strategy, reestablished vision, a new small group structure, and a restructuring of the facility. So these are kind of all the components of my plan. And obviously I don't have the time today to kind of give you everything in the components of this plan. So really today I kind of wanted to put together 5 of the things that I'm going to do in my plan that are going to drive cash for you. 5 of the things that, I kind of hand selected these things, and it's a combo of, what I really felt was going to be the most easily implemented by you to be able to take from this webinar and implement into your business. So basically here are the 5. So number 1 is, how do you reopen? You got to know how to do it. You got to do it. You got to know how to do it, and you got to do it right. The truth is there's no perfect recipe, but I'm going to share with you some details that it can make you put you in a good position to be successful. Cash driver 2 is balancing online and offline. Cash driver 3 is creating premium options. Cash driver 4 is one-on-one personal training, and we'll talk about that in a second. And cash driver 5 is your best marketing plan ever. So get the max amount of members possible. Cash driver 1, get the max amount of members possible into the gym to drive cash. Now, that was the survey that I did, and that 30.9% was before, right, I did any type of announcement or any type of thing relative to us coming back. So I will say this, that the difference in people coming and saying they're not going to come back to the gym at the end of April, and what happens between the end of April and when we open, hopefully in June, is a lot different. And there's a lot of things that can be done to take that 30.9% and drive that way up, way up. So here are some things that I think need to happen. The number one comment on the survey was, a lot depends on the plan for when we return. So that one little part of the graph where it showed those little kind of slivers, a lot of people talked about in those little slivers was, it depends on the plan for when we return. Your clients are waiting to see what you're going to do. They're waiting to see of how serious you are going to take this, and will they feel safe when you come back. So that's kind of what we're going to pack. And know this, through all times, people are secretly begging to be led. People are secretly begging to be led. And I will say this, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but when I came back from Florida and went to New Jersey, and I did a video, I think it was a 10 to 20 minute video to my members on, this is what we're going to do. We're closing the gym down, and we're going to go, and we are going to go online, and this is what you're going to get. And I would tell you, the amount of members that I got that talked about the leadership that we put out there, that talked about, they felt like we had control over the situation, we were being decisive, and we were making decisions. I can't stress enough to you of how important it is that when you're dealing with your members, that you are coming across as a person that's decisive and confident and strong, and you're going to lead them through challenging times. One of my themes through this whole thing is that we be the lighthouse, okay? And the lighthouse is basically, if you think about, picture all of your clients in rough waters, right? And they're all in these boats, and the water's really rough, and it's really dark, and they can't really see the shore, but they can see a lighthouse. And as long as they can see that lighthouse, they're going to be confident that they can get back to shore. And so that's kind of been my message to my team. That's been my message to a lot of my mastermind members, is that being that lighthouse for your clients, but how you step up and how you communicate this really matters on how confident your members are going to be when they come back. So video addresses, all that stuff is very important for you guys to be addressing. Optics are everything. Optics are everything. What people see right now is so important. Steve Jobs was obsessed with not just the innovation and the iPhone and all that. He was obsessed with the packaging and the box. And let me ask you this. I know that you guys probably have a stack. If you're an Apple guy, you probably have a stack of boxes that your iPod, earpods came in, your MacBooks came in, your iPhones came in, and you probably don't even want to throw those boxes away because of how beautiful that packaging is. So it's a really, really important thing to know that that stuff matters, that Steve Jobs put a lot of time and effort into what the box looked like. And so you need to put a lot of time and effort into what things look like with how you're presenting this to your members. So here's some pictures from a grocery store I went to. So here's the guy on the left. The picture says sanitation lead. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know what that means, but all I know is that I know there's a guy cleaning there, and I can feel a little bit more comfortable going to the grocery store when I know there's someone cleaning everywhere, and I'm not going to go into a dirty store. Same thing with the floor. One way, optics. Optics are everything. Okay, so these are 4 cleaning cylinders that we have. We had all of those. This is my gym in New Jersey, but we had all of those before, but they were not in those places. They were put all up against the walls, and we didn't really know where those clients didn't really know where those things were, and we didn't do a good job of communicating that. So now a simple move and shift to putting these cylinders in the middle of the floor, that is things that people will see and clients will feel more confident and comfortable in what you're doing. Okay, where they train matters. Okay, are you taking steps to divvy up your facility into these little quadrants or boxes so people feel that they're going to be safe and not be around other things? That is an optical. I saw other gyms that are opening that didn't do stuff, and it made me squirm a little bit. And I was just like, why wouldn't they do something like this to really separate what's going on so people feel confident and safe to return? Show them your efforts. Send them a survey. Send them a survey and tell them that you're interested in their opinion. I got tons of responses from the survey that we sent. Ask your best members their advice. Call up your really good members and talk to them. I've had several members just really wanting to help me. Some of my members sent me yesterday what is it? The announcement for how Flywheel or Soul Cycle, one of those two, is doing it, right? And it was a beautifully done thing that we took some info from. Demonstrate how you're thinking this through. So show them. So what is it? I strongly suggest you guys create some type of an info sheet that you give to your clients and that you put on a web page, and it should consist of these 4 things, relatively speaking: a cleaning plan, a social distancing plan, safety, and equipment. Okay, so this is kind of what ours looks like. And this is a web page that we created, and the top of it is, what we're doing at GFP to help keep you and our team safe. It's something that your clients want to see. It's something that it's sending a message to them where you're like, okay, this is what we're doing, and this is the things that we're going to do to make sure that your health is of number 1 priority. All right, go the extra mile. Sometimes people are like us saying, oh, we don't need to do that, or we don't need to do this. No, like temperature checks, gloves, visually demonstrating the cleaning supplies. A cleaning person during the sessions would be a great optic to have someone walking around cleaning during that time. Rearranging the facility, maybe you have less equipment, so there's more open space, new equipment, removing old stuff. All these things matter. Clients want to see, that you have gone the extra mile and you are taking this seriously. This is a very important thing to do, and I don't think you can overdo it. I think that you can only underdo it. Talk about the way that you've gotten your info. So I kind of went on, and I told you guys before that I had a conversation with Dr. Green from NYU, and basically he's an infectious disease doctor that I ran him through my plan. And now I tell my members that our plan was looked at and evaluated by an infectious disease doctor. Okay, we use a cleaning company called Service Master. I talked to the CEO of the company. All of this stuff is being communicated to members to make them comfortable and aware of what is going on. This is a thermometer that we've invested in. I'll show you the video of it. I think I might need to take my headphones off so you can see. You can see that that's a piece of equipment we ordered. There's not a lot of them in the U.S. right now, but I mean, I hear a lot of people, taking temperatures with the handheld thing, but you still have to hold it, right? You still have to wipe it off every time you use it and someone touches it. So it's something where these little investments in technology, relatively speaking, I think this unit was like $800 or something like that, relatively speaking to the price. And it's just a demonstration to your members that you're kind of taking that extra step so they feel more comfortable coming back. And you need to call every client personally. Okay, you should put it out there online. You should definitely put the stuff there on your website and everything like that, but you need to call every client personally and just tell them what they're doing. And you will have people that will say they're not going to come back on a survey. And when you call them and talk to them about the things, your steps you're taking and what you're doing, there's a much better chance that they will come back. Okay, so this drives cash. Right? You might be thinking, well, this isn't marketing, this isn't sales. No, this is retention and getting people back to the gym. The longer they stay in the online thing, the less they're going to want to pay for it. We got to get them back in the gym as soon as possible. Okay, so the better job you do here, the more of your members will come back. The more of your members that come back, the more opportunities you'll have to get referrals. Referrals are going to be crucial right now. Crucial, because your members are going to come back and they're going to see that you got your shit together and you're providing a great experience, and their other friend that used to train at Orange Theory is looking for a place to train. And you're like, well, my place has this thermometer, they got this, they got that, we got our own boxes when we train. It's almost like you have to make what you're doing worth talking about, because that will drive the referrals for what you're doing. So that is the first cash driver. The first cash driver is doing the right things to get members back in your gym, and doing this in a way that is going to get them to drive referrals. So your first cash driver is that. This is a testimonial from Larry Hamilton, who's in the Bronx. I'm extremely confident to open my gym because I've been doing a lot of this stuff with my mastermind members over the last several weeks. Number 2 is manage your online and offline effort effectively. Okay, so there will be a time where we're also going to stay online. We're going to continue to do all the stuff we've been doing, and we got to get back in the gym. This provides a little bit of a conundrum. Okay, this provides some confusion. There's a little bit of a transition that we're going to have to go through, where we're going to be doing both. It's not going to be business as usual. Okay, it's not going to be business as usual where you're just kind of going back and you're saying, oh, we're going to be able to get back in the gym and everything's going to be the same. It's not that. Okay, it's not that. There's going to be the balance of the two, because a lot of members are going to want to stay doing your online program for quite some time. So as I just said, how long, we don't know. Okay, so 3 considerations here. What should you continue doing? So when you open, right, you're all closed now. Most of you at least are closed now, right? So you're all online. When you open, you got to make a decision of what you'll continue to do online, because there's going to be a certain amount of clients that are going to stay online. How do you structure your sessions when you open? What changes do you need to make to the structure of your sessions when you actually open? And then how do you staff them both to remain profitable? So your online efforts, hopefully you've been doing a great job of providing, Zoom workouts and live workouts and specialty classes and all these different things. And this is kind of a list of what we've been doing. And we have gotten tremendous feedback. And a lot of the guys in the mastermind have taken suit and done a lot of the same things. But, we've been doing things like Jeopardy and, kids programs, and we're reaching out to people on a really regular basis. We have been putting so much effort into serving our members throughout this whole period. So this is not something that we can probably continue the amount of effort we've been putting in and go and open up our gym with a bunch of our clients. So what you got to really do is, first thing you need to do is, whatever you were doing online, whatever changes that you made to your business, decide what you're going to keep forever to bake into your systems. So I will say this, when we kind of went into this mode of really reaching out to our clients a lot more, and we separated our clients into flocks. So every trainer had a flock of about 30 to 40 clients. And so that trainer was given a software to help manage it. And now we go on and we basically, you oversee that trainer's job of managing the relationship with the client. Okay, that is something that's gone very well and something we have decided that we are going to keep for the foreseeable future. In addition, we're also going to keep our large group format online, our live workouts online, because we are not able to do large group training in our facility. Okay, so we're not going to be doing this. So we need to keep that going for the foreseeable future. Second thing is decide what you'll keep in the short term, right? So remember, there's going to be this period where we're going to have to balance both. Decide what are the things that you've been doing that you'll keep in the short term. Then decide what you're going to stop. So you kind of been thrown into the gym. You've been doing a ton of stuff. You got to make some cuts. You got to make some decisions on, all right, what are we going to stop doing? Because we need to shift and put more time into the actual physical serving of our members. And then calculate how many staff hours this will take. And whether you have certain dedicated people just to do online. I know we have a couple trainers that one still have kids at home and another that really honestly doesn't feel comfortable coming into the gym. So we're going to take those trainers and keep them doing all the online stuff. They're going to be just like, you're going to be at home, you're going to stay home, and you two will do the online, and the rest of our coaches are going to be shifted into our in-person efforts. So you're going to have to look at how many staff effort hours you're going to need for your online stuff and go from there. Okay. What's the structure like when you return? Okay. What is the setup of your gym? Okay. How long are the sessions going to be? All right. I'll be honest with you. We're making a shift to the length of our sessions. I'm not saying you need to do what we're doing. This is an executive decision we made, but we're going from 60 minutes to 30-minute sessions because we're going to have a break in between to clean. Okay. Which will mean tweaks to your program design. Okay, are there going to be tweaks to your program design? Are you going to have access to all the same equipment, that you've had before? Or are they going to kind of need to retool some of your programming to make sure that it is without certain pieces of equipment that you used to use that maybe knowing that, your clients probably aren't going to share. Your clients aren't going to share. You're not going to be rotating like you were before. So there's all those considerations to structure this when you return. Okay. The question is, when are you going to train your staff on this, right? When are you going to train your staff? Well, your staff needs to know if you make a big shift in terms of your program design, and you need to make a big shift in terms of, like, I know we're preparing to, provide a great experience in half the time. So we got to get our staff ready to rock. And we have all these things that we're putting in place to make sure the staff is ready. What's the protocol for cleaning in between sessions? Okay. What's going to be there? Is there going to be a checklist and things like that? And then take advantage of a mulligan. Know that when you return, that whatever decisions you make, this may be the time to make changes that you want to change. Okay, let's say there were some things that you wanted to do to your gym and there's some tweaks that you wanted to make to your sessions. Now is the time to change it. It's kind of like you've gotten a free ride, because clients are not going to they're going to expect that things are going to be different. They're going to expect that things are going to be, that things are going to be challenging for you, and you're restricted by the rules and all things like that. So take advantage of making changes that you want to see in the future. Okay. This is just a note I wanted to throw in there because I think it's preparing for the masks. There's a good chance that your clients will have to wear masks. Okay. So here are some things that you could do. Okay. An anti-inflammation diet leading up to the workout. So get your clients to make sure that they're eating really clean, because that's going to make sure that their nose is nice and open when they actually start breathing and working out. Okay. Breathing drills, teaching them how to breathe better. Okay. And getting them to actually teaching them how to breathe more efficiently. So when they go to the mask, they can breathe better. Be sure your coaches know what it feels like to use a mask, and train your trainers to be in the mask, because your coaches are going to have to coach in a mask. So all this stuff is super important to be preparing for. Okay. Staffing them both. Staffing them both. Payroll is the biggest driver here that will impact your cash position. This must be matched with expected revenue. Okay, this must be matched with expected revenue. So you really got to look at what is your forecasted revenue. So right now you have X amount of people, paying you online. You have X amount of people that you anticipate that are going to come back to the gym. Okay, now you need to make sure that your expenses are not exceeding that revenue. Okay, so you may need to make some hard decisions with staff. Okay, who is non-essential right now? Do you need your front desk person? Do you need part-time employees? And if your expected revenue, okay, is dropping at a considerable rate, you're going to need to make adjustments to your payroll to make sure this happens. Okay, so you got to decide who's non-essential and what to eliminate and reduce. You got to make these decisions, and hopefully you made these decisions before. But you can't just continue to keep your payroll what it was, if your revenue is dropping at such a high rate. And again, that all is on an individual level. Okay, this is a command. Do not come back from COVID-19 with any team members you wanted to get rid of before COVID-19 started. I'm going to read that again. Do not come back from COVID-19 with any team members you wanted to get rid of before this thing started. Okay? If you didn't want them before, you certainly don't want them during COVID-19, and you certainly don't want them after. It is the best excuse to part ways with some people on your team that are not the right fit for your company. Okay? Keep your A players in the game as much as possible. So I have a guy on my staff named Tom. He's 6'9". He's the best trainer we got. He's the one that they're seeing almost every morning in our live workout. Okay, you want to keep your A players in the game the most. Make sure that they are seeing those people as much as possible. It's kind of like the playoffs, all right? And the playoffs, the 6th, 7th, 8th man don't get a lot of time. It's the starting 5 that get the most time. Okay, and then keep your eyes open for unused capacity. Okay, there are people on your team that have certain skill sets that you don't even know about. Okay, does someone on your team have graphic design skills? Does someone on your team have video editing skills? Does someone on your team just have really good customer service skills you didn't even know about? We have a girl, Frankie, that works for us. She's dynamite on the phone, and I didn't even know it. She can tell she's moving into a sales role. Okay, so start to keep your eyes open for the skill sets of your current people that you have, and see if they have skill sets that can be utilized in your company. Okay, cash driver number 3. So my wonderful wife, for our daughter's first birthday, bought this ultimate extravagant cake. And we had the party at my gym, and I'm kind of like cleaning up, and I'm just saying, honey, that cake was amazing. I really, you must have put a lot of effort in where you got that cake and a lot of research. And she's like, yeah. She kind of looked at me and she's like, yeah, thanks, honey. And I like, on the way home, I'm like thinking about the cake. I'm like, man, that cake was so magnificent. And I was like, Vanessa, how much was that cake? And she kind of had this like tongue-in-cheek smile. And I was like, no, seriously, like, how was it? And it turned out to be, it was like a $475 cake for a 1-year-old birthday party. For a 1-year-old birthday party. And I am just like, you can go to the grocery store and you can make the cake for $4. Like, why did we just spend $475 on a cake? And she's like, well, I went to the cake store and they had, they gave me all these options, right? And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah. And they showed me the really expensive one, and I saw it and I just could not buy it. And I was like, so I just got it. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, oh my God. But the reality is, okay, if you offer something of high price, there is a certain portion of people that will buy it. Pandemic or not. Okay, now, do you think more people bought this $475 cake or more people bought the $40 cake? Definitely more people bought the $40 cake. But sometimes we don't think about all the ways that we can grow cash. Okay. So number one is we get more clients, right? So a way for you to grow right now is to get more members. You can get more members in your online program. You can get more members into your gym. And that is almost the way that we think, right? We think that, all right, I just got to get more clients. I just got to get more clients. That's what we think. But these other ways to grow, and this is a slide that I hope you write these things down, because this is not a COVID lesson. This is just a business lesson that you should remember, and just bake this into your mindset, and it will make you a much better business owner and a much better entrepreneur. The second and third way to grow, which is what people don't think about as much, is increase the size of the transaction, right? So they could have gotten more people to buy the $40 cake, or they could have gotten just a couple people to buy the $475 cake. But if the $475 cake is not there, no one's going to buy it. And the third thing is increase the frequency of the transaction. Okay, that's increasing the amount of times people buy throughout the year. The one we're going to focus on today is cash driver 3, is increase the size of the transaction. And that is offering a really, really high premium service that delivers, 10 to 20K in revenue. And right, and if you say 20K in revenue, okay, there's a lot of ways to do it. Okay, you can get 100 people at $200. You can get 50 people at $400. You can get 25 people at 800. You can get 10 people at 2,000, or 5 people at 4,000. 5 people at 4,000, or 2 people at 10,000. Now I'm looking at that number, and I'm like, that first one is like, that's daunting, to try and find 100 people to give you $200 right now. It's daunting. And I'm thinking, like, are there 2 people out there that would pay 10 grand for something right now? And I'm like, yeah, probably, because everyone's watching their money, but there's a large portion of the population that they're just pent up, ready to go out and spend. Okay, there's a small population of people out there whose health has been negatively impacted from quarantine, but money is no object to them. And they may be looking for something like this, some super expensive thing that you could get 2 people at 10 grand and bring yourself 20,000, versus trying to find 100 people at 2, which is kind of the way everyone else wants to do it. Okay, your way out of COVID-19 and your way out of this thing is creative thinking. All right, is a creative way to think about your business, and people don't. Walt Disney said something along the lines of, people don't go out of business because of bad management. They go out of business because of lack of good ideas. Okay, so sometimes you're a good idea away from making 20K very quickly. So think about this, and here's how to create this. It's like, what is everything your client could possibly need? Okay, what is everything your client could ever possibly need? Do they need daily accountability, customized nutrition, a home gym setup, a meal service, mindset, supplement plan? Can you take all the things that you could ever possibly offer? All right, that would be a dream come true experience for your client. What would be a dream come true experience for your client, that you kind of take the client that's the high-end CEO, or the mom that's just got gobs of money, and they've been totally bent out of shape from this COVID thing, and could you come up with something that they could be like, yes, I need something like that, and I don't care what it costs? Well, that could be your 2 people at 10 grand right then and there. And if you need a cash flow surge, that is a great way to get this thing started and get the ball rolling. But sometimes a lot of people don't have the courage to ask for that kind of thing, because it does take courage to ask for that. But here's the best part. The best part is, you most likely already know the 2 people that would buy something like this. So you don't have to go and create this elaborate marketing plan for it, and create this huge landing page, and create this marketing funnel and all that. Really, you just got to do is, write out the offer, bullet point all the things out there, and try and find 10 potential people and get 2 of them to buy it, right? And I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, okay? But I want to get your mindset thinking a little differently, in that it's not just about you getting to make 20 grand. It's not just about you getting 200, 100 people at $200, right? It's about thinking differently about your business and thinking differently about money, and knowing that there are people out there that will spend a lot of money right there, and not thinking that everyone's in this recession and cash. There's a lot of people with a lot of money right now. Okay, so you just need to find them. Cash driver number 4. Cash driver number 4. So here's my graph again. 30.9% said they weren't coming back. So me, in my discovery mode, I hit the phones. And I started calling the people in the other 70%. I called the guy in the 21%. The 21% are people that said that I am not going to come back for several months. Okay. And I called them up and I said, hey, I know in your survey, you said it was going to take several months for you to come back. And I just wanted to kind of throw some things at you and just pick your brain about things. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Good member, great guy. And I was like, I'm thinking about the different things I'm going to offer at my gym when I come back. And I was wondering, I know you said, and we run a small group environment option. And I was wondering if we started offering one-on-one personal training, if you would come back right away when we open. He paused and he was like, yeah, I would come back right away. I was like, you would? I was like, not a few weeks. He was like, no, I'll come back tomorrow. He's like, I don't feel comfortable being in large groups around people, but if you tell me that I could wear a mask and one of your trainers could wear a mask and we do social distancing and they say 6 feet apart, I would come back and I would sign up for your top level package tomorrow. And I'm just like, it was like a light bulb. I was like, one-on-one training is something that, I've been talking somewhat negatively about for months, for years. And not to talk negatively of one-on-one, but to make it your business model is probably not the right decision. And I still don't think it's the right decision right now to just go to a whole one-on-one model. But in the short term, in this period where people are very, weird about coming in, being in groups, there's going to be a large portion of people where one-on-one training may be the thing that gets them to pay the money. And the good thing about one-on-one training is it brings a large chunk of money right away. So this was a light bulb for me and could be your cash driver for, do you need to do more one-on-one training right now? Okay. And it's something that you can sell in packages, right? Yeah. Your monthly recurring revenue can be with your regular program, either your large group or your small group, but maybe you're driving cash with selling packages of sessions. 10-pack, 20-pack, whatever. All right, you can offer it to your current members in an upsell or a new option. I strongly recommend doing this in 30-minute sessions. Okay, 30-minute sessions, because in my market, if I was to charge $160 an hour, which is what I kind of would charge, all right, that's like, what is that? 160? That's $500 a week in personal training, $2,000 a month. It's going to be harder to get more people doing that. Okay, versus if you made it 30-minute sessions, all right, we can cut that in half and get these people going for the foreseeable future. Okay, making an offer to your members' kids. Okay, people want to get something for their kids right now. All right, and one-on-one could be a thing if you have some like athletes that are trying to train for their sport coming up and they really need a jump start. That could be something. And your schedule, they can fill any empty gaps that your trainers may have. So let's say you have your normal program from 6 to 10, and your trainers aren't going to have any more hours except 6 to 10. Well, you can fill the gaps before and after. So it's a way to keep your clients, fed and working and things like that. So it's something that, originally is not, the best business model because the margins are so much better in small group and large group. But for right now, this could be something that you really work on to drive cash in the short term, and also could save some jobs, could save a few jobs for your clients. Okay. And cash driver number 5 is commit to running the best marketing plan of your life. Commit to running the best marketing plan of your life. It is going to be harder to get people to buy. Again, like as I just showed you, not impossible, but the better job you do in marketing, the more people are going to come. And I think that there's this progression of a path to wealth. Okay, the path to wealth is these 4 steps. Okay, number 1, you're the doer of the thing. Okay, so when you started your gym, you were the one that was doing the training. Okay, you were doing most of the work. Okay, the second phase in the path to wealth is to become the marketer of your thing. Okay, to become the marketer. And that's what I spend so much time with my members in the SPF Mastermind on, is learning how to market their business, not just work in it, but working on it in terms of generating a good flow. And when I say the marketer, I'm not talking of just generating leads, right? When I say marketer, I'm talking about you understand how to generate leads, you understand how to convert those leads, you understand a good pricing structure and a pricing model. So that's kind of what I mean by marketer. Okay, then the phase 3 is you become the entrepreneur, which, you know, a lot of my mastermind members are entrepreneurs. You know, I have one guy that owns, you know, he owns a restaurant. I have other clients that own real estate. I have other clients that I have a client that owns a supplement store. I have some clients that have online companies. So a lot of my mastermind members actually have several ways to grow wealth. And when this thing hit, their gym wasn't the only thing that was giving them money. So they ended up in a much better position. Okay. And then the 4th thing is investor. And this is where kind of you're shifting money around and you're putting money in to grow exponentially. But for right now, we got to step into that marketer role for your business. And so if you think about what's happened in the last few months, okay, hair has not been cut, teeth have not been cleaned, meals have not been eaten out, workouts have not been the same. Okay, there's something called pent-up demand. Okay, the pent-up demand is the people not getting their haircut. Well, when the haircut places are open, there's going to be a lot of people rushing to get their haircut. So yes, people are watching their spending, but there is a massive amount of pent-up demand that has not been satisfied by Zoom workouts. Okay, and your job is to create the best marketing plan of your life. And that's something I want to help you do. Number 1 is you need to have some kind of a really good offer. You need to create something that's irresistible, that the people coming off this thing can decide that you're the place that you're going to do business with. Okay. Now, I told you guys before, I've gone through 2 recessions. One was in 08. Okay. One was now. The other was now. But I went through another one. Okay. And I went through one in 2015. Okay. And it was a recession that I caused. And it wasn't a true recession in the fact that, you know, the economy was bad, but I went through some personal challenges. I was balancing through different businesses. I had my 3rd kid that was being born, and I kind of went through some really big personal challenges back in 2015. Okay, and my business, for the first time, we had grown every year for up to 2015. We started in 07, okay, and we had grown every year up to 15, but we kind of hit a wall. Okay, we hit a wall, and we hit a wall because of me. Right? We hit a wall because of me, because my head was not in the game, and my business took a hit. And I needed to do something to get the business back on track. I needed to do something that's like, okay, we've gotten smashed in the face this year, and I got to step in and I got to do something to get it cranking. Okay. And I created this thing called the sweepstakes. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you what that is in a little bit more detail. But a lot of people out there are saying run a 6-week challenge to get people back. Okay. I don't think that's the right advice. Okay. Because if you run a big 6-week challenge and you all of a sudden get 50 to 100 new people, you may not have the staff. You may not have the capacity. Your restrictions in your community or in your state may limit you from bringing all these people in. So a lot of the things that we normally would do to kind of crank it up may not be valid at this point in time. So the idea I'm about to give you kind of does both at the same time. Okay, so it's the most proven lead gen system I've ever had, but it's more of a long-term client getting system. Okay, and it's basically called the sweepstakes, but it's a free offer. Okay, it's an offer of extreme value. Most of the time we do it, it's for a package of about 6 weeks where we give someone the carte blanche of training. Okay, the idea I'm thinking about for COVID is a free one-on-one offer where we offer free one-on-one training package for our community. Okay, we're going to market the heck out of it, and people have to fill out an application to get it. You select the winner, and you get the non-winners in the door on your terms. So now it's not this huge flood of people to your facility. Now you're going to have this big list of people that applied for this. You're going to have a lot of information about them, and you can slowly start to invite these people in when you know you have spots and time. And you can start with the most qualified people. And best of all, you can build a documentary on the results of the person that wins. But this is a 6-step process that I went through in 2015, and it worked like gangbusters. And it not only worked for my business then, it worked for my business almost every year. And a ton of my mastermind members have taken the same offer. But I think the timing of things right now, this is like the absolute perfect thing to do. This is the great irresistible offer that's going to generate a ton of leads, but not create this bottleneck and this huge flood of new clients that you may not even be able to handle. So you'll be able to kind of bring them in on your terms. So a free 6-week one-on-one offer is the first kind of thing. Number 2 in your marketing plan. Number 2 is tell them and communicate how you're going to keep them safe. Okay? Tell them how you're going to keep them safe. So I kind of mentioned that I was communicating to the members on what we were going to do, like how we were going to keep them safe. Okay? But what you also need to do is you need to demonstrate to your community and your potential clients of what you're doing to keep them safe. So Tom Plummer, had a great point in the podcast I did with him. He says, run ads to the stuff you're going to do for cleaning. Run ads. And one of my other clients, Anthony Bevilacqua up in Long Island, he created this unbelievable video that demonstrated of what they're doing to keep members, safe during the training process. So your marketing not only, should be these irresistible offers and things like that to get people going, but it should also be communicating to your community how you're going to keep them safe, because people want to see stuff like this. All right, there's another one of our members that kind of did a great job. This was before it opened, but he did a great job of showing how he was keeping, his facility really clean. That really matters. Number 3 in your marketing system is have multiple methods. Okay, so I talked before about how one revenue stream puts you at a disadvantage. Okay, and now don't feel bad if you just have the one gym, but it is putting you at a disadvantage. Okay, the same way that when you only have one way to market your gym, that puts you at a disadvantage. So when you're going into this plan, you're almost got to think of, all right, we got to pull out all the stops here. We got to get our members back and we got to get them situated. But I'm going to sit down and I'm going to map out the marketing plan of all marketing plans. And it's going to include, these is just a list of things. You don't have to do all of these things, but it's going to include text message marketing. It's going to include a reactivation. It's going to include email. It's going to include print minutes, and it's going to include video and podcasting, whatever. So start to think about when you're sitting down and creating this plan over June, July, August, September, is how are you going to attack this from several different methods? Because the worst number in marketing is 1. And this is a principle that I teach all the time, but it's now more important than ever. Now more important than ever that you guys are making sure that you have multiple ways that you're getting. You can't rely on a Facebook ad. Promise you this. You can't rely on the Facebook ad. You got to get your website up to speed. You got to have joint ventures rocking. You got to get these things up to snuff and speed. Number 4, okay, number 4 is ask for one awesome referral. Okay, so hopefully you've over-delivered and earned ultimate trust from your members over the last few months. Okay, hopefully you've been doing that. And the law of reciprocity says that they'll give you a referral. The law of reciprocity says they will give you a referral, but only if you ask. So what I would be doing is I would be thinking about the conversation that I'm going to have with all my members and thank them for sticking with you during this time, but also, you know, they're grateful to you. They're probably really grateful to you for how you helped them through this process and how you helped them through this challenging time. And it's a great time to set this up. Get a checklist. Did you have a referral conversation? Yes or no? And do it with all members. You have 200 members. That's 200 conversations you can have with them about a referral. This will take some time. This will take some courage, but this is something that will have some really, really great benefits coming back to you. So I've had this conversation with my members, and I've been telling them the story of Bubba Gump, right? And in the movie Forrest Gump, Forrest starts this shrimping company, and he's out there on the boat, and they're not catching any shrimp. And there's getting these nets, and there's no shrimp in the nets, and all of a sudden, there's this huge storm that hits. It's a massive storm that hits, and Forrest is the only shrimping boat that survives. And they flash to him pouring all these shrimp into the boat. And they got all those shrimp because they were the only shrimping boat left. And I will say this is not an easy situation that we're in. And it's something that's really, really challenging to deal with right now. And I commend you all for getting through it. And I commend you all for coming on a webinar like this. Okay. But know that when you make it through this time, there's going to be a lot of people that went to the Orange Theories, that went to the 24-hour fitnesses that are going bankrupt, that went to all these gyms, and there's going to be a lot of shrimp in the water for you as the small, privately owned, safe, small group, brick and mortar facility that has good relationship with their community. There's going to be a lot of people out there for you, okay? But your marketing plan needs to just match that. Okay, so I have a tremendous amount of hope in the future for you, for my business, for my 50 plus mastermind members right now. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. All right, this is one of my members, Eric Driver. All of these testimonials right now are COVID-19 specific as well. These aren't old testimonials. These are brand new of people that I've worked with over the last 8 weeks. I was more prepared than any other business. We would have been lost if it weren't for your ideas. Okay. So let's talk about you. You know you want to get your gym cranking. You know you need a plan to drive your cash flow back up. You know that a pandemic always brings a massive amount of hard decisions that are tough to handle by yourself. And you know if you go back and try all this on your own, you're likely to hit roadblocks and have questions. Now, I have gone through the entire 8-week process of giving and giving and giving on my podcast, on my blog. I've done countless of these types of webinars, and I've never asked, for anything in return. And now it's to the point where I have decided to kind of take a lot of the stuff that I've been doing and put together a mini course. And the mini course is called the Business and Cash Flow Protection Coaching Program. All right, it's going to be a 4-week program. It's going to be with me, and it is going to be completely designed to make sure that your business navigates and goes through this pandemic. All right, so here's what it is. It's a live business coaching program built to help you preserve your cash and set yourself up for success when you reopen your gym. Here are the goals, okay? To open your gym with as many clients as possible, but still maintain your online presence. To launch a COVID-19 specific sales and marketing plan so you can take advantage of the pent-up demand, and to give you confidence about the future of your company. Here is the structure. 4 weekly live coaching video seminars. There's 4 Q&A sessions, ongoing coaching and support for 4 weeks. You're going to get a private Facebook group access to all my COVID-19 specific marketing material, documents, and resources. and you're going to get access to my password protected membership site that I give access to only my mastermind members, which is literally like it's like a franchise within. So you'll get access to that for 4 weeks. So this is for you if you want to support on how to maintain and grow your current cash position. You want help with how to market your gym upon reopening. You want clarity on best practices to structure your programs when you return, and you feel having a coach during the trickiest part of the pandemic would be a wise decision. This is Matt Jennings. He's a veteran gym owner, close to 20 years as a gym owner. But COVID-19 pandemic would have had a stranglehold on my team and our business and our future if it did not have Vince in the SPF Mastermind. It's difficult to see this is Robert Rodriguez up in Connecticut. It's difficult to see everything. It's important to surround yourself with the right people to grow. So here's kind of the curriculum. I'm going to talk about module 1, returning to the gym. So some of the stuff I talked about earlier, but we're going to make sure that you have a plan. I'm going to ask you guys to kind of show me what you're doing, to show me the plan that you guys got. And I'm going to kind of give you the best practices that I've done, I've seen in all my research and all the things that we have going on right now. The first one, the program will start on May 15th. That's a week from today, same time, same channel. Module 2, we'll talk about marketing in a recession. Module 3, I'm actually dedicating a full module to running that sweepstakes play. I really do believe that your marketing is going to be hinged on this one offer. And a lot of the things that we do in terms of content will go towards this. I am going to unpack step by step on how to do it. It's going to be pretty amazing for you guys to have access to all of the things in the sweepstakes package. And then module 4, I'll talk about staffing, leadership, and financials. And hopefully by this time, this will kind of catapult you into your gym, right? This will kind of catapult you back into what you are going to do, and you'll have a really great plan for marketing, a really great plan to open your gym, and a really great plan to deal with your staff and leadership and financials. So I'm really excited about it. I've been doing this stuff for the last 8 weeks, and I'm going to be taking a lot of what I talked about in my Unshakeable plan and I've baked it into these 4 modules. And of the people that are on this call that know me, that know the stuff I do, I bring it in everything I do. This will not be any different. So I'm excited about the program. There's been a ton of time and energy that's gone into it. And, I know that you will kind of move right into June 5th with a really, really clear plan on what you need to do to succeed. Always 2 to 3 steps ahead. I've been priding myself on keeping my guys, my mastermind members, 2 to 3 steps ahead. And it's something that I want to give to you guys as well. I want you to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of your competition, 2 to 3 steps ahead of your members. I don't want your members to say, you guys should be doing this and you guys should be doing that. I want you to be like, hey, this is what we're doing, and your members to just be following. And it's funny that I've gotten this comment from not only my mastermind members, I've gotten this comment from my clients at my gym. And I asked them, I was like, how can we help you more? How can we help you better? And one of the comments was, same thing here. I feel like you're always 2 to 3 steps ahead. Okay. And that's one of the things I want for you guys. I want you guys to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of your competition, 2 to 3 steps ahead of your members, and for you as a business owner to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of your business. All right. Here's the investment. There's 2 ways to pay. One, you can pay in full for $497. Option 2 is you can do 2 payments of $297. Most of the courses I do are up to up on close to $2,500. My Surge course is a $2,500 course. I am doing this at this price out of the goodness of my heart, just because I realize that many of you are in tough situations financially, but you still need guidance and you still need a coach. And much to my dismay of my CFO, who does not want me to charge this little money for the massive amount of time that I will be giving you, It's something that I wanted to make available to as many people as possible to be able to provide this kind of experience for you guys. This is Marty. It's the best decision we have ever made for our business. Here's my guarantee. I always say, if by the second module you're kind of two modules into this and you're like, I don't think this is for me. After module 2, if you feel that way, I'll refund you. No questions asked. As I always do. Some bonuses if you sign up on the webinar today. First bonus is I'm going to teach you about the sweepstakes in the module. And I'm going to kind of tell you how to do it. I'm going to give you the step-by-step on what to do. But only to the people that sign up on the webinar, I'm actually going to be giving you the funnel. And the funnel includes the ad copy, the follow-up, the landing page, the actual emails. I'm going to be teaching you how to do it, but I'm not necessarily going to be giving it to you except if you sign up on the webinar. So literally, it will save you a ton of time if I actually gave you the sweepstakes funnel. So I think that this is, the bonus one. If you want to commit and sign up on the webinar, you'll get that funnel, and that's going to save you a ton of time. And I can't guarantee the sweepstakes will be a huge hit for you, but because the landscape is a little crazy right now, but I'm pretty damn confident that everyone that's ever run this has had really great success with it. And I think that, your market is ripe to create something, to jump in on something like this. Bonus number 2, I'm going to give you a free ticket to my next mastermind event. My next mastermind will be most likely in July. I haven't even announced the date yet, but normally we do it in person, and I give out like 2 to 3 guest passes and stuff like that. But I'll be giving out virtual guest passes, and so if you sign up on the webinar today, I'm going to give you a virtual guest pass. You can actually attend my 2-day online mastermind event. I'm going to have a ton of resources and guest speakers and things like that, so you can be my guest at my next mastermind event. And bonus 3, if you're one of the people, one of the first 5 people, I think I'm going to say, you're going to get a black box of money-making stuff. I'm in my kind of office/storage room where I do all my mailings, and I'm looking right now, and I see down on the bottom shelf, I have about 5 of these boxes left. And so I'm going to send you guys a box of stuff, books, and all kinds of cool resources, CDs, and things like that. If you're one of the first 5 people to sign up on the webinar. This is Oliver. I have more time with my wife and daughter because of the support and ideas passed here freely. Forever grateful. So the first 5 people will get the bonuses that register on the webinar. Meg, you can go ahead and post the link in there. Let me see if she's done that yet. Okay, good. All right, Ben Shear is in. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Meg has posted the link in the webinar. It's that link, that last one that Meg just posted. It's cashflow.vincegabriel.com. That is the actual link to the webinar. So if you want access to the bonuses, I'm going to give the first 5 people that register the bonuses. So the first 5 people, so Ben Shear, you are in, you are on the bonuses there. Just go ahead and click that link. And let's see here, David Shaw is in. So we got a bunch of people that are coming on and saying they're in. So good. So let me keep going. There are first 5 people. And so we have 2. So there's 3 spots left. All right, Jeff is in too. So we have 3 purchases. Oh, Ben Shear paid. So we have 2 people that have already paid. It's looking like this is going to sell out somewhat quick. All right, good. We'll post into the chat if you're in or when you paid. The link is in there with Meg. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, David. Very good. Appreciate you guys. I'm excited to be working with you over the next 4 weeks. 1 week from today, we will be live. There's still a boatload of people on this webinar. right now. So here's the kind of recap for this: 4 weekly live coaching video seminars, 4 Q&A sessions, ongoing coaching and support for 4 weeks, private Facebook group access to my COVID-19 specific marketing materials, access to the membership site, access to the virtual mastermind event, black box, COVID sweepstakes, and the investment is 1 payment of $497 or 2 payments of $297. Again, I can't do this stuff much cheaper. It's going to be a boatload of my time, but I'm going to be excited to be working with you guys. So that's the recap. Apparently, my mastermind is priceless, according to Gary Hargard, who's been in the industry for a really long time, invaluable during the COVID-19 pandemic. So action cures fear. Go ahead. I'd love to work with you guys. Go ahead. Just click that link into the chat. And all right, Lloyd is in, venture paid. So we got a bunch of people. It looks like we are close to being sold out. It looks like we have one more spot. Meg, if you can keep track of the people that are posting that have bought, if you can keep track of the people that are posting that have bought, I'm going to leave this link up there. Here, right there. All right, Carrie paid. All right, good. It looks like, all right, please, Megan's saying, please post to all panelists and attendees if you signed up. Okay, so that is the link for it. I'm excited to do some Q&A with you guys, and what I'm going to do is this. And I always do this, but I'm going to give you 3 minutes. I'm going to be back. I'm going to actually leave the screen for a second. And I'm going to be back in a few minutes because I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to actually write down your questions and then type them into the chat. I'm going to give you like a minute to think about your questions. And I'm also going to give some people some time to sign up for the program. So I will be back with Q&A in roughly 3 minutes. So just sit tight. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Let's go ahead. I want to go with questions. Meg, have we gone? Meg, have we filled all the 5 spots? Meg, are you there? Okay, so we're at 5. Remember, you can still sign up, but only the first 5 spots get the actual bonuses, the black boxes, and the the black boxes are actually going to be, normally Meg knows that I don't usually do stuff like ship things in the mail, but I will be, okay, cool, good. All right, cool. So we have your names for those of you again, you still are able to sign up, even if you did not get into that first 5 wave, but you're still able to sign up and do the program. So let's go ahead with questions. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you, Drew. Appreciate that, man. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Okay, so the first question is Desiree McBride. Thank you, Desiree. I appreciate it. Curious, do you think F45 is in a similar boat as Orange Theory? I do think that F45 has a little. What I know about F45 is it's a lot of high-fiving, it's a lot of buddy stuff. But since I don't believe they have as much like fixed equipment as Orange Theory, I think it's more of like, like dumbbell, kettlebell circuits. So they may have a little bit more flexibility. I still think that they're kind of, in the similar boat. So I'd say they're definitely going to be affected. I think it's like, the sweat box facility will struggle. Okay, the sweat box facility, the small square foot, high volume, large group, will get really crushed during this thing. So I have one of my members, a guy named Joe Hashi. He's also a coach for me, but he is still doing. He's still doing large group, but his facilities are spaced out, and he has such a very good community that I know he's going to be totally fine. But it's like I said, this one facility called the Max, it's by me. It's like 900 square feet, and they pack 30, 40 people in there. It's just like they're slammed in there like sardines. That is like the worst possible model to have during this time. So can you elaborate on the member survey you talked about earlier? What types of questions there? Okay, so good. Some good questions coming in. Okay, so the first question is, can you elaborate on the member survey we talked about earlier? So basically what I asked, and this is something, what I'm going to do with all of the people that join the program, is I'm actually going to give you the survey. But the gist of it, and pretty much all you need to do is change your name, and you'll have access to it. There's a lot of stuff I've done like that, where literally the same thing too. I created a template. Remember, I did that cleaning thing where I showed the announcement and I showed the web page. So I created a basic template for you guys that I'll give to you. That'll be all in module 1. So I'll give you the survey in module 1 of the course. But one of the questions was just more gauging when they should expect to come back. So essentially, if you think, I think that it answers, the questions were right away, in a few weeks, in a few months, and then not coming back or something like that. So that was like the first question. And then the second question was something along the lines of what would they like to see from us, coming back. So kind of give them, well, I'd like to see you taking temperatures. I'd like to see, people wearing masks and stuff like that. So that was it. So the main part of the survey, but I'll give you guys access to the whole survey, and literally all you have to do is, I have in like a Google form, you copy and paste your name, and everything is, is pretty easy and simple. So that's the member survey. Lloyd says, do you think we should remove open gym, free gym, or make it appointment-based service? If you have the space for it, I think that you can definitely do that. We kind of have it. We're in the beginning going to eliminate it, but if I had a like a really big space and that was a big part of my membership, yeah, you would probably have to have like an appointment-based thing where you can only have a certain amount of people at that time. It's a tough thing. That's a challenge one, especially I don't know like these big box gyms that have restrictions on it. They're in a tough spot. I would you probably could need to wait a little bit, Lloyd. And I a lot of times just would be putting a lot of my effort and energy into all the people that are going to do personalized service that's going to make the most money. You're going to make the most money on the people that are paying, a lot of money per month for your stuff. With regards to transitioning to 30-minute sessions, are you changing okay, so it's all that is, and again, I said that, and I almost kind of, I regrettingly did say it because it's kind of opening up a big can of worms. There's a lot that's going to go into that decision. I will get into it in the course. When I do the course, I will get into, that decision to go to the 30-minute model. I am not changing my whole pricing structure, and this is for semi-private. So essentially, our model works on a 1-to-4 ratio, and we have a 3-tier pricing structure with 1, 2, and 3 days a week. And essentially, what we're going to be doing is instead of changing the pricing structure, whether they tell them that they can pay more or pay less, we're now just changing what they get. And I can get into it. I am going to get into it in the course, but don't really think of it as this 30-minute workout. Like it's got to be presented as this life plan, right? That 30 minutes is part of this new thing. And I think that one of the cool things that this pandemic brought is the pandemic brought this exposure to these different forms of support, right? So one of the things was the one-on-one trainer-based accountability and follow-up. And that's one thing that we're going to continue, that we really added a lot of value what they're doing. But the other thing was you're now doing online, right? And you probably should continue supporting your clients online. So maybe now you invested in, a Train Heroic or I don't remember the names of them, but you invested in that, and that's another thing. So you have, what you're doing is you're creating these other assets that you're supporting with your members. All right. So now it's like, oh yeah, well you're taking, you're going from 60 to 30. No, we're going to 30. One, because we kind of have to, because we're adding, we need to have a gap in between to clean and stuff like that. But two, we're adding all these other things. We're adding all this other stuff to your membership that is part of an entire platform and program and health life plan. Not just, hey, we're going from 30. So I'll go into it more in the course. There's a lot more that goes into that decision than just saying, oh, we're just going to go from 60 to 30. Some of you might decide to do something like that temporarily. That is an option too. But, for me personally, it's a decision that I've decided to make. So again, great question. The athletic way. I don't know what your name is. Sorry. Okay, cool. I got that one. What other questions do you guys have? I do believe, make sure, Meg, can you repost the link in there? I do think we have filled the spots, but do me a favor, if you're still on right now and you have signed up, just let me know. Type in the chat that you have signed, even if you weren't one of the first 5 to get in. type into the chat and let me know that you're going to be joining us and you're going to be working with me. So type into the chat. Let me know, have you signed up? So type into your questions, what other questions do you have? Okay, so there's still a boatload of people on this webinar. So I assume you guys just don't want to spend the rest of the webinar staring at me. So if you guys don't type into the, there you go. If you guys don't type in the chat, I can't answer your questions. Okay, so question, what is your suggested approach to utilizing fitness equipment such as battling ropes, bands, sandbags? Hell yeah. So absolutely, I would eliminate anything that's hard to clean. So I would say ropes would be one of them. Sandbags is a definite one. I don't think anyone wants to touch a sandbag these days. How do you even clean a sandbag after one person uses it, especially if you're doing things like shouldering and then rubbing all over your body and stuff like that. So yes, my suggested approach would be to there's a certain level of equipment that should be eliminated temporarily. The other thing is there should be pieces of things that should be thrown away. If you have an Airex pad, you know, those blue square Airex pads, and you have it and it's got a crack in it, okay? Anytime someone kneels on that crack, there's all kinds of crap going into that little crack, and there's bacteria storing up in there, okay? Those things should be thrown away immediately. All stuff like that that's not that expensive should be bought brand new, and your people should come back to seeing some fresh, new equipment and things like that, so you guys can, you know, show your members that you're really focused on you know, providing a great experience as possible. So yes, certain things, offhand, I don't know. I know we're eliminating all of our cardio stuff. So we're eliminating all the bikes and the rowers and things like that, you know, someone could really swamp up pretty good. So I think that you know, there's definitely certain things. I mean, we're pretty much going to be going with the majority, you know, dumbbells and kettlebells and stuff that's, you know, metal stuff that's easy to clean. Yes, and when in doubt, I would, when in doubt, I would, if it's something that you think someone would have a question on, I would probably take it out. You spoke a lot about optics, cleaning, et cetera. What are your thoughts on staff cleaning versus, I 100%, so I've had a staff professional cleaner at my facility since I started. They come at night 3 times a week, okay? One of the things I am exploring is, instead of having the cleaning company come at night during the deep cleans, is having the professional cleaning service come in addition. So your staff is going to have to clean, but I think having someone that's a cleaning person there is the absolute best. Now, I know that's an investment, right? And I know some of us maybe not be in the position to make that investment. So that is, you know, you have to go, but know that the more comfortable people are, the more people will come back. And what it could be really bad is this. What could be really bad is people come back and then they leave because they don't feel safe enough. That is terrible, because what's the story? The story is, I went back to Gabriel Fitness, but I kind of saw some things that kind of made me feel uncomfortable, and now I'm going to either go to a different gym, or I'm going to wait, or or someone gets the virus for sure. So that is a strong possibility. It's a strong possibility. So it's 100% a thing that you need to do. We are advertising the cleaning company that we're working with. We're showing them. Again, my personal situation is not settled in terms of, are we going to have that janitor there? It is my preference. It just really depends on if we can find the people that are able to do it, which I am working hard to do. So good question. Yeah, I don't think I'll run paid ads to keep clients safe. It'll be on the website. It'll be on my social media. I'm going to ask our clients to talk about it. It will be on signage in the gym and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's necessary to run. Maybe you do a couple different social media posts where you boost the posts and stuff like that. But I don't know if you need to go that far and to go crazy running paid ads to that. I would just be very active on social, almost like give yourself a little bit of a, we're going to post, one pic a day on Facebook or Instagram that kind of demonstrates what we're doing to keep this facility going, and keep the facility clean. So I don't know. You can. I don't think it's going to hurt you, but I'm gonna reserve the paid ads to get new members in the door, like using sweepstakes and stuff like that, and use more social engagement stuff for keeping clients safe, and things like that. So your website should have it front and center. I actually have I have a really good web guy. He actually works with me. A really good website that can churn out websites decently fast and can take a lot of the stuff that we're doing. But so I think that's it's really important that you're out there and you're telling people how what you're going to be doing to keep them safe. All right, so type into the chat. There's still a lot of people on this webinar, okay? And I am going to stay on until all questions are answered. But if you guys don't ask any questions, I don't know what you're thinking and what you want to know about. So the link is in there. Remember, we're going to be discussing a lot of this on the course. So we're going to be starting 1 week from today. So the first one will be, the first module is going to be all about us opening the gym, and we'll talk all the cleaning stuff. We'll talk, some programming and things like that. And I'll be able to have Q&A if you have some individual circumstances that you want to work with me on. I'm going to be happy to do that too. So, Tim Uhouse, what's up, man? I see some people on here that I know. Very good. Oh, what's up, Halen? So what other questions do you guys have? There's still a lot of you on this webinar. We're 2 hours into it. I assume you just don't want to be on this webinar staring at me, and that you want to actually get your questions answered. So what other questions do you have? Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, Tim. How do I handle check-ins? Well, we haven't decided on that yet. Most likely I'll have an answer for you next Friday, but what we aren't going to do is we're not going to staff a front desk person. So we have this one idea that's kind of a funny idea. When we have our busy times, this is not something we've decided on, so it's just more of it's something for you to think about. But we said we were going to have a computer screen facing where the clients will walk in, and it'll be a running Zoom call with our front desk staff from home, and they can handle check-ins. I mean, I think that what you can do is you can have your clients check people in. You have your trainers check people in, so they can go into MindBody or whatever kind of service you use, and just have the trainers check them in, or they should be able to check in, on their phone. We're not going to be staffing a front desk person, just because we're trying to eliminate as many situations where there's a bottleneck of people. So what you don't want is people gathering toward an area. Also, if you have a garage door, I would make your garage door your main entrance, because there's no doorknob. That's a lot of things people are skeeved out about, doorknobs and opening and closing and going through small. So we're essentially going to be opening our garage door, and people are going to be going in through the garage door to be able to enter the facility. That's kind of how we're deciding to do it. So I think, Peggy, right now, probably what we'll do, is have the trainers check people in. And it's also a good time that, if you have clients that maybe didn't do a lot of online scheduling, that we always rely on the phone calls and stuff like that, that they start learning how to do that with the online scheduler and stuff like that. So all stuff to start training yeah, we're gonna have our members wear gloves and train. Definitely our trainers will wear gloves, and we're gonna suggest that our members. We're gonna start strong. So we're starting with the masks is the one thing I'm kind of a little bit nervous about in terms of telling. Um, in terms of telling they have to wear a mask, it does weak me out a little bit about having an older person wear a mask while they're working out. So it's a challenging thing, but it's one that. But yeah, gloves is an easy one. Just tell them, that they're going to have to wear gloves and they should, bring a mask and have a mask. But it's crazy times and a crazy, situation. But I should have most of the answers for you guys hopefully by next Friday, because that's when we'll have our whole thing, completed and rolled out. This is like, I'm literally like going through this with you guys, and I'm just like kind of one step ahead of doing all this. So that's it. All right. So there's still a bunch of people on this call. Apparently, you guys really like staring at me. What other what other questions do you have? Is it really just people staring at me? What other questions do you guys have? What questions I can answer for you guys? So we have, I'll tell you right now, we have probably 10 members. No, I can't say that. 5 or 6, I think 5 or 6 that have gotten the virus. 5 or 6 that have gotten the virus. Now they got it. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Hope to see you next Friday, brother. But 5 or 6 members that have actually gotten the virus. Now they got it while we were closed, right? They got it while we were closed. Now the question of if a member contracts the virus is a question that should have some kind of a plan in place. My first call will be to my lawyer to make sure of what we would do. But again, knowing that that full plan is not outlined yet, I think that you would need to probably shut down for a few days. So, for example, my kid's school, absolutely. And sorry, on the liability waiver, yes, you should all be working on a new liability waiver that and I'm going to go through this on on Friday with you guys. But you should all have your members sign a new liability waiver, and also you can add that your online stuff to that as well. We actually have a lawyer coming on to talk about this with our mastermind on Wednesday. But I will have ours finished by then, and you can either, I'm not sure if the right thing to do is to take ours. I'll show you it. But you're going to definitely want to get counsel on the liability waiver. But something where, so a kid's parent in my kid's school had it, and what the school did is they shut down for like a day. They did a full-on deep clean for the day, and then they reopened. So I would probably do something like that. I'd probably do something like that if a member did, and I wouldn't kind of shut down for like a whole week or anything like that, but I would just make sure we're communicating and being open in that. Now, if that happens, it's tough because you're going to have to be upfront and honest and not hide it. But it is definitely water fountains, no. Retail, no. Waters in terms of a refrigerator, I would suggest people bring their own waters, or you kind of having maybe a cooler where there's no opening on it. Okay. You want to try and avoid them using handles. Like we have a bathroom where it's like more of a locker room status, and we're going to kind of keep the doors open. You can't see when you walk in, but we keep the doors open, and they can just kind of kick the door open with their foot. So we take stuff off. So you have to keep restrooms open. You can't not have restrooms open, but Yeah, it's funny, Lloyd. I have thought about that of the training barefoot. But so the first question is, you can't close the bathrooms, but you can close the locker rooms. Meaning you just say that the locker rooms won't be open, and also we're saying our shower facilities are not used. So the bathrooms will be open, and they'll be able to use the bathroom. But awesome, thank you, Forever Fit. So the bathrooms will be open, but we're saying don't take a shower here. Bring your own towel, bring your own water. These are all things you need to say too in your announcement. Bring your own water, bring your own towel. Don't take a shower here. Don't you're not going to be able to use a locker. None of that stuff. If you need to go to the bathroom, and here's the thing too, our programs are now shifting to 30 minutes. So hopefully people don't have to use the bathroom in the 30 minutes that they're here, and we'll eliminate that. Thoughts required to train barefoot with a pair of gym sneakers left at the studio. I'm not crazy about that, because if you have to leave their sneakers in the studio, then you're kind of putting them in one spot. Because I did think about this, Lloyd, because I did hear that the virus can sit on the bottom of your shoes a lot. I do think members would be skeeved to train barefoot if you really think about it. Like, are you like I wouldn't want to go to a public gym barefoot right now. Like it's almost a little weird, because and especially if one person's barefoot, everyone has to be barefoot, because you have some people with shoes and the other people are barefoot, and the virus sits on the shoes, and is someone barefoot walking right before someone that was walking with the shoes on, that's a no-go. So I think that because of those reasons, we'll just keep shoes on, not barefoot, and we won't keep sneakers in the studio, because we don't want to create more places for people to kind of get and bump into each other. All right, good questions, guys. We have a lot of people still on this webinar right now, and I appreciate you guys coming on, and I'm going to keep continuing to answer your questions as long as we are here. But some of these are really good questions, and it's funny that I'm a little bit surprised at some of your questions, and I guess that's a good thing. I guess it means you guys are kind of holding strong with it. But most of your questions are about the reopening and those types of particular things. I can only tell you what I am doing. I will say this: what I'm doing is, I'm kind of giving you the inside scoop on what I'm doing. It's hard to say what is the perfect answer, because there's so much uncertainty going on, and I don't know the rules of everybody's states, and there's all kinds of different things. So you have to take what it is, and take the advice, and take more of the advice on the whole concept of being proactive and going the extra mile and making this announcement to your clients, versus my advice on should you wear sneakers or not. That could turn into like a legal question that you should ask your lawyer and stuff like that. So my job is to make you just think about this in the right way, so you can make the best decisions for your clients. So what else? We have Forever Fit, Awa, Body Mechanics, Chicago Fit, Chris and Amanda are on, Halen's on, Carrie's on, Cinch is on, Lloyd's on, Matt's on, Brichette's on, Megan's on, Peggy's on, Ross is on, Tim's on. So a bunch of you guys are still on, and I am thinking that, okay. Cleaning business, and he fogs my gym every week on top of the daily cleaning. Yes, I've heard of the foggers. The fogging machine will be a great investment to us. Yeah, and those fogging machines, you can get those at Home Depot. And yeah, I've seen a bunch of different people, use them. And again, like I said, it's another thing that is, it's the optics of things, and a fogger is kind of cool because you can see the stuff coming out of the machine, and doing that. So yeah, I think that that's a good suggestion there, Tim. are those foggers. That's something that we'll be investing in as well. So I definitely think that I still think, though, even with a fogger, that there are certain things that I would eliminate. Like I would still eliminate the stuff that people maybe skeeve to put their hands on. If you have a communal weighted vest, do not use that, right? Do not use that weighted vest, because that is something that is, not going to be, can you imagine, sharing people, and that's stuff we used to do all the time. Someone wears a weighted vest, they do a set of jump squats, and then they take it off and they give it to their partner. And I remember doing that when I was personal training and one-on-one. I'd be like, all right, do a set of jump squats, with the vest on, and now take the vest off and give it to your partner. And put that, like it is just like mind-boggling of how much that would not happen today. That's a good question for Tim. This is, where do you buy the product that goes into the fogger? I really do believe that all of you should consult with a professional cleaning company. All right. I think that even if you don't have a lot of resources right now, you don't have a lot of money, I think you need to get a professional cleaning crew, preferably, so we go with the Service Master, which is a franchise, and a lot of times a franchise may have more resources, okay, and we have more it's more of a reputable thing to go with than Joe's Cleaning, and he's got a couple of people that come in and do it, versus going with more of a cleaning service. I think is a really great decision to help, but also to use them to consult with. As a consultant, use them. Even if you don't hire them to clean, could you hire them to consult with you, to ask them what are the best practices to do? Like, we're using our cleaning guy, and our cleaning guy is helping us create the checklist for what we're going to do in between that 15-minute session, right? So it's not just about getting them to clean the facility. It's about using them as a consultant, similar to what you guys are doing right now with me. You're using me as a consultant to help your business get through this time. Well, you should use your local cleaning people and franchised cleaning people to make sure that you're getting the right advice on that, versus just trying to figure this out for yourself. So even if your budget is tight, and even if money is tight and resources all tight, struggling with the whole logistics of a good thermometer, won't be spending $800 and you don't have a front desk. Well, you got to look at the options, right? So I'm guessing the next best option is, Peggy, is going to have to be a system where you have one of those handheld thermometers, right? And it's not to say you have to wait for your state to come out there. You may not have to temperature check every client when they come in. That could be another layer of protection. What I would do is definitely make sure that your staff is temperature checked. Okay. So if you have one of those handheld ones, know that if one of your staff touches it, right, and you obviously could put a new pair of gloves on right before you use it, and then have them put a number. So you could do it like that, or you have to disinfect it. But I think that the optics of doing the temper check on clients, if you have a resource like that iPad that I showed you, it's something that will go the long way. So I think the next best thing would be to make sure your staff gets temperature checked. But Peggy, you'll have to wait for the rules of your state to see if you have to. And if you don't have to, then it's up to your judgment. It's the same thing with the mask, right? There may be some of you that your clients don't have to wear masks, but you may want everyone to wear a mask, and that's up to you guys. So it's really all about, this is where you just have to use your best judgment, and there's no perfect formula for this, right? There's no perfect formula for this. But it's a weird situation, but it's something that, you got to put some time, effort, and energy into, and it's what we're doing on next Friday. So I'm pretty much thinking that next Friday is going to be a Q&A session on this is kind of what this has turned into. So I'm really glad I made that module 1. I'll tell you that right now. So module 1 will be on Friday. Alrighty. So we are past the 2-hour mark here, guys. I've really enjoyed working with you. The link is in the chat. Truly appreciate the support of that. Megan just posted the link again, but truly appreciate you guys taking time out of your Friday to come in. It was my pleasure to serve you. It's been my pleasure to serve the fitness industry through all the podcasts that I've been doing and all the calls like this I've been doing. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for, all of you guys stepping up and providing a great experience for your members. And, I'm excited for those of you that will be joining me next Friday, that we'll have a great time. We'll get a lot of questions answered, and we will make sure that we get your business set up on track. All right. So if there's no one that has another question, I think we are good to go. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.